Summer's around the corner. I have 3 guys on the job and now my shop is full. And now it's a good time in Nick's Garage.
Welcome back to the shop. Today the place is a beehive of activity. Nick has got 3 mechanics all working hard. After a long, bitter winter, it's almost driving season, and the customers are all eager to get their dream cars back on the road. So grab a cup of coffee, stay out of the way, and enjoy the sights and sounds of one of the best little muscle car garages in the biz.
Welcome to Nick's Garage. I've got a whole team with me. We're working on a few cars all at the same time. A few parts came in, so we got to get a move on. Here we've got Tristan's 1974 Jensen Interceptor. Miner's been working on the fans this week. Look at that, hey, fit like a glove, man. You know, we bought this from the Real because this was the closest fit to the radiator size that he has in his car. We wanted to keep it simple. It's got all the wiring, all one setup, one relay. It works progressively and it's exactly what we needed. And it hugged the whole radiator. Well, let's take a tour and see what the other guys are doing in the shop in the meantime. What do you say? Devin, what you up to?
Taking apart this 440.
You're taking it apart?
Yeah.
This is a refresh, I believe. We've got Paul's 440 here, and I've got Devin here taking apart the engine. This is just a refresh. All the guy wanted to do is look at the bearings, maybe just change the bearing, change the rings, hold the cylinders, clean the block, see if it needs a new chain, see if the cam is not worn out. If not, put back the same parts. But really, it's just what wears out is maybe just bearings and rings. Besides that, if anything else is very loose, we'll replace it. But so far, it just looks like it just needs rings and bearings, and that's all we're gonna do. But then again, we're gonna look at it, we're gonna tear it all the way down, make some measurements, and then we'll see what we need to replace. You know, because we've got so many engines here all at the same time here in the shop, I've got Dad to make me a few of these shelves. The reason why is because these buggies with the shelves, you put the whole engine on, or when you work in front of the car. For example, if you got no space on the shelves on the walls, like they're all full because of my storage, I use these buggies for each particular engine. I've got one there, which Vasily is doing right now on an engine installation on Sebastian's 440 Challenger. I've got one here. I've got another one there that belongs to Joel with the 426 Hemi, which is right there. And this one here that we got Paul's 440. So Devin, take it all apart, and then we'll do some measurements later on, okay?
All right.
Take care, buddy. Good work, good stuff. Well, you know, I used to have a lot of benches moving around left and right, you know, having on benches, but I try to keep everything so simple. You know, when you have a lot of 440s and there are a lot of parts look identical, so you don't want to mix them up. So each block, each engine has its own buggy, tray, or whatever you want to call it, tractor, I don't know what you want to call it, go-kart, whatever. We made them very strong to hold up 1,200 pounds, and this is what we've got. We had 4 of them made, and there's 1 more coming. So I got to give a big thank you to Dan. And they work just great. And they take up so little space, which is great. And you can move them around anywhere in the shop. Well, I've got a few vets here today. I've got the one I'm waiting for another carburetor to come in for the blue one, which is a 454. My client wanted to get a spare carburetor, so I've ordered one for him. It's only waiting for the carburetor now. It's 2 weeks, so we'll leave it here until the carburetor comes in. I've got another vet here, 1986, that belongs to Anthony, which he had in storage for over a year. And he had it towed over here yesterday because the car wouldn't start. He was wondering what went wrong. When he put it away in storage the year before, it was running fine. Drove it into the garage, turned it off, and then a year later, he went to get it started, to bring it out, and it did not start. So we brought it in here. Vasily looked into it. He found out the fuel pump wasn't working anymore. Vasily had it replaced, and now we got it running. And at the same time, Vasily is also installing the 440 here, that belongs to Sébastien 70 Challenger. This is the one that the, I believe the valve dropped, hit the piston, cracked the cylinder on cylinder number 2. That was last year, so now Vasily's putting it together. And my poor client just bought it last year, and he drove it for a month before the engine went kaput on the highway. Anyways, we had to replace the block, 8 pistons, put it all back together, and there she is, back in the car. And you know, I have a lot of people that keep calling me. They want to come into my shop, bring their cars. I'm starting to slow down on a few jobs because just we're overwhelmed with work. We have parts that are coming in very slowly. I don't know, let me just show you for an example. I just ordered another gasket kit for Tim's A33 4-speed for his 69 Roadrunner A12. I'm just waiting for a gasket kit. I got a bearing, which it's the wrong one. This is for an 833 23 spline, but the one I need for him is an 18 spline, which is a much larger bearing by 1/4 of an inch. So I received this today after waiting a few days, which is the wrong one. But anyways, I keep ordering bearings until I get the correct one. So this is where we gotta wait for a few pieces on this, which is not too many, it's just a gasket kit and a few roller bearings. And at the same time, I gotta do Tyler's engine, which is right behind you. That's a 389 for belongs to Tyler for a 1966 GTO with a 389. And I've got another engine here, which is belongs to Joe, 426 Hemi. He's building for a client of his, another project. I've got the intake here, I've got all his parts here on this buggy. And I've got Leo inside the engine room putting the pistons in. So let's take a look. Let's go in the engine room, see how Leo is doing. Leo, how you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good.
So you're putting the pistons inside the Hemi?
Correct.
Okay, let's see how you're doing with this. So you're working on piston number 7?
Correct. Number
Okay.
7. Yep.
Okay, let's put it on, let's put it in front of the camera. What do you say?
Sure, why not?
I'm sure the viewers won't mind this.
Let's do it. Sure.
Okay, bring it in.
Okay.
I'll turn the crank for you.
Sure.
So now we're about to install the piston number 7. So I want to put the crank journal all the way down. Here we go. Tell me when it's all the way down, Leo.
Keep on going, keep on going. A little bit more, a little bit more. That's good.
Okay, bring in the piston.
Yep. Okay.
I got the piston ring squeezer.
Yep.
It's a 30 over bore Hemi, so that makes it a 4.280 bore. We got 3 pistons in so far. So we're gonna put in piston number 7 with Leo right now. Leo. And I've been teaching Leo how to put engines together all week, and today I have him installing pistons in this 426 Chevy that belongs to Joe. He's lubricating the rings. He's lined them up the way they're supposed to be. So now he's oiling the, putting oil on the skirts. He's got oil on the rings. He's put oil in the cylinders, and now we need to drop it in. Put in the bearing on the connector rod. We're going to put some ARP lube on the torque, on the connector rod bolts. Put some oil on it with the cylinders. All right. There we go. All right, now bring the piston over. The crank is down. Bring your mallet. Go ahead. Piston goes with the intake notch on the top, which is on the intake side. So, Leo, what do you think, Leo? You like doing this job?
Oh yeah.
You love it? Take your time, buddy. Make sure we don't damage any piston rings.
Should be stuck, Nick. For some reason it's stuck.
Take your time.
I don't know why it would be.
Squeeze the rings in as you're trying to drop it, but you have to drop it straight.
Start over that. Okay.
Okay, go ahead. Put this like that. Okay.
It's tight, eh? It doesn't want to go.
Here, let me try it. Let me try it. Let's see what's going on here. There you go. Now go ahead, install it, line it up, and just when you pass top that center, go underneath and take a look, make sure the rod lines up with the crankshaft journal. Yep. We have a special mallet for installing pistons inside the cylinder bore. Okay, that's perfect. And now let's, here, just for fun, I'm just turning the engine over so the viewers can see what you're doing, okay?
Sure.
Leo,
yes.
Give me the mallet.
Yes.
You hold the...
I'll guide it.
Okay, you guide it. So we can show the viewers what you're doing out in the back underneath there, okay? You ready?
Yep, come in.
There you go. Now
When
put your
the
cap in.
sound changes, that means
Yeah,
you're all
your
the way
bottom.
down.
That's right, then your bottom down. There you go.
That's it.
So he's going to put the connector rod cap. He's going to put ARP lube on the connector rod bolts. Hand tighten them and install the other 4 pistons. Then later on, we're going to look up the torque specs and torque him down. And of course, we have we're going to do some clearance check, which I've done earlier. So I don't need to check the bearing clearance, which I've done earlier yesterday. So
Now number to number.
That's right.
Or notch to notch.
That's it. Go ahead. Show the viewers what you're doing. Make sure the cap goes on the right way. As you can see, they're numbered.
See.
There you go. Cylinder number 7. You put the number with the cap and the rod. So you cannot mix them up. Can't put them wrong. You can't make a mistake. We got a special lubricant to torque down the bolts because these are ARP bolts, and they recommend that we use a Holley lube to torque them down to their specs with the Holley lube. So we have no choice but to put the lube on the threads and torque them down to their specifications. There you go. And then just make them hand tight, and then later on when they're all in place, we're going to torque them down, which I believe is 63 foot-pounds. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the engine over, make it easier for you. There you go. Now just tighten them down, hand tighten, go right ahead. And then proceed to the next piston, okay?
We're halfway there.
We're halfway there. 4 pistons are in, now we got to do the right bank.
That's it.
Good work, Leo.
Thank you.
He's doing great. I've got Devin on board. I've got Leo working here now. I'm training another guy to work like ourselves. After all, you know, we do a lot of these old cars, old engines, and a lot of these new guys don't know these old cars. So I'm going through them step by step in every way, engine assemblies, electricals, or whatever. So they've got a long way to go to learn, which they have the passion for it, which I love that. And That's what I like. I want a group to come in and enjoy what they're doing and get our clients' muscle cars or classic cars out rolling again for the summer. So you see, we have one engine, one after the other. And by the way, we still have that Ford to do right here. I've got a special pilot I've ordered to do the valve job, which I have back here on my new machine. And these valve stems are thicker than usual. They're thicker than 1132s. So I just ordered a pilot that's gonna work with the machine. And you know, every engine has a certain size. And I'm always ordering special tools. Here I am, I bought a new valve machine for cutting seats, but I need different pilots for different size of stems. And in this case, this one's a little bit bigger than 1132s. So I've ordered it yesterday, and it's gonna take 2 weeks to get it in so I can do the job. So there you have it, waiting for parts, waiting for tools to finish off any particular engine. So Leo, continue working on your piston assembly.
Yep, perfect.
We have another one here ready to go on a dynamometer. It's another 440 that belongs to Dan from Gananoque, Ontario. We have it assembled. I gotta find him a set of valve covers. Yep. And then after that, it is a 440 stroker. 498. Yep. It's a 498 and it's gonna go on the dyno once I finish with the other engine on the dyno. This is the engine that Dan brought in, and he had the gear wasn't worn out on the oil pump drive. For some reason, I don't know why the cam didn't wear out at all, but the gear was worn out. We found shavings in the oil pan, and he also had an external oil pump drive, like a dry sump setup. So since it's a simple street car, we just put a deeper pan, a new oil pickup, and we put the oil pump directly bolted to the block like a factory. Like I told Dan, you want to keep it simple? Just do it the way it came from the factory. Throw it into your A-body, and it's a street cruiser.
It's not a race car, you know.
That's
you look
right.
at these motors, you wonder why. I took the motor apart and I was wondering, why does it have all these big tubes, you know, like you would see on a diesel truck and out the pan and things like that. But it's a street car. I was sure when this motor showed up that it was a race engine. Because it looked like one, you know, the single plane intake, the big heads.
And it also used to be nitrous injected.
That's it, it was nitrous injected too. I was wondering, but this is a street car, you know, you wonder why all this trouble. And
now we put the oiling system like the way it comes to the factory. Just to keep it simple.
That's it, correct. Keep it simple.
What do you think?
Perfect.
Think it's gonna work?
Yes, it's gonna work, I'm sure.
Thank you.
Nick, you want to see them like spin?
Go ahead. Put the piston right up. I want to spin a crank. Let's go. Okay, so you did in this bank, eh?
Yeah. You want it flat?
Yeah, let's see it. This is gonna be roughly at 20 RPM per minute. Here we go.
That's it.
For those people who've never seen an engine run without the cylinder head, here it is. This is how it works. It's a 2-cycle, 4-stroke engine. There we go. Now this is like what? 20 RPMs?
10 maybe.
Maybe, I don't know. But you know what? Imagine this engine at 1,000 RPMs per minute. These pistons are moving fast. And you can imagine at 6,000 RPMs what's going on.
They're really moving at 6,000.
Yeah, and every second time the piston comes up, that's when the timing light comes on. That's right.
Fires.
That's when it sparks. That's when the timing light comes on. So look how fast that light moves with the timing light. Every second time that piston comes up, every second time is when the light ignites on the timing light. That's when the spark plug ignites, which is the compression stroke.
That's it.
So you can imagine how fast this engine is turning.
That's why you have all these specs, and we're talking thousandths of an inch. You know, when you build an engine, you don't use a ruler or a tape measure, or you're talking micrometers and
we measure
like
everything
thousandths of an inch. You know?
That's right.
This is not a Lego set, you know.
Everything has to be perfect.
That's it.
There you have it. Leo, you're learning. Good stuff, buddy.
Yes, sir. For sure.
Keep going. Keep working.
Perfect work. Oh, it's the first time I started and assemble. I work on a Hemi to start with. I mean, it's cool. What I really like is the dome piston. That's what really makes it special, you know.
What Leo was saying is his first engine he assembled was a 318. So here I have him here now trying to train him on a few jobs, and I'm training him here on a 426 Hemi. So
it's kind of like going from one spectrum of the scale all the way up. You know, you got the big block Hemi, you know.
But bottom line, it's all the same basics.
That's it. It is an engine. It has pistons. It has rods.
There you go.
You know.
So that's it. You've done all the rings correct the way I told you.
Yep.
So far so good. So now if you wish, put on the even numbers, right bank, and finish it off. Okay, so there we have it. We have a lot of things going on. I got a full team working. We got some parts coming in, and as the parts coming in, we're gonna have the whole team put them together and get the engines and the cars delivered.
And between building all these fantastic engines, Nick and the boys still find time for a snack.
Yeah, we're gonna take a minute break because Tom here from Blenville Puffs brought in some puffs for us and coffee. So we're gonna take a short break and start munching on this. And you know what? These are some of my favorites, let me tell you. Here it is, and these are my favorite right here. With some syrup and cinnamon. This is my favorite. And what do you got, frappe?
That's it, yeah, well, they're supposed to finish. I'll talk with
Creamy sugar.
This is cool, man. Yeah, you can take this one, it's yours.
Thank you, man.
Best coffee in town.
We're a different crowd.
This one has sugar and
Greek style.
These are great, man, let me tell you. My favorite. So look what just came into my shop this morning. 1968 Cadillac DeVille convertible with a 472 cubic inch. That's a big motor, big V8. You know, a lot of cars are coming out of storage right now, and they're all gonna be hammering me, Nick, can you get my car going? I gotta go through inspection, gotta make it drivable, gotta make it safe. So now they're all coming in all at the same time. Yes, I do a lot of Mopars, but once in a while I get the odd car. Here we got a Cadillac, just came in, and he wants me to go check the brakes, the front end, install some rear seat belts for the kids, give it a tune-up, check the suspension, go through the whole car. A typical car that comes out of storage, this is what I go through with all my clients. And the thing is, they all come all at the same time. So it's not gonna be easy. I'm gonna try my best. But this is what happens when you have a shop that, you know, deals with classics and muscle cars. And when the summertime comes around the corner, they all come and hit you at the same time. I want to show you something very futuristic back in '68 from Cadillac. Look at this. It's got an electric eye. Talk about high technology. But my client here uses this as a storage compartment. It's got a quart of oil here. It's got a choke carb cleaner. And then, if you look real closely here, it faces out through the grill. It's an electric eye. It's something that when you're driving on the highway with this car or any road with the high beams light on, and when this car has oncoming traffic towards them and it's got lights, and this guy and the owner of this Cadillac has the high beam lights on, it knocks off the high beam so it doesn't blind the other driver that's coming forward towards you. So something that does electronically, which I didn't know about. So, you know, you learn new things every day. So this is a pretty unique thing back in '68. Does it work today? I don't know. But it's high tech back then, I believe. No, did I ever see anything like that on a Chrysler product? I do not know. Not that I know of. But this, I guess, a Cadillac option or Cadillac standard equipment. I'm not sure. But when I saw that, I go, that's pretty unique. The best part of it is my client uses it as a storage storage bin. Yeah, there you go. Puts a carb cleaner, a liter of oil, and he blocks it off.
I gotta say one thing.
What?
These cars, I have a 71 Charger, which is 6 feet wide, roughly, and 17 feet long. This car, I'm telling you, I find my Charger is big, but this is what we call a lanyard.
Yeah, this is long.
This is big. Like, it is massive.
It is pretty
But
big.
look at it. It's long. It's wide.
Guess what? Next week we're gonna work on it. We're gonna pick it up. He wants me to check the front end. He wants me to go through the whole car. It's been in storage for a while. It's plated. We could take it for a drive. It's too bad. I would have loved to take it for a drive today, but it's raining outside. But anyways, we're gonna wait till next week. He gave it to me to have it for a couple of weeks to get working on it. So it's gonna be all fun and glory with this one. Cadillac. Haven't seen one of those for a long time in my shop, and a special convertible. So how does it feel to be inside a big car like this? Oh, Wow, big bench seat up front, armrest, simple dash. Look at that. You know what, I would sure love to drive this down the highway with the top down, cruising on a nice sunny day. This would be awesome. Look at that. Wow, this is a real cruiser, man, or what you call a yacht. This is a beautiful car, let me tell you. Roy, what you got here is a beautiful machine, let me tell you, Roy. Nice, very nice. Very nice. You know what? Can't wait to get started working on it so I can take it for a drive. The only suggestion I had for Roy, I know a lot of you guys are going to be against me on this, is to do something with the four wheels on this car. He's got a low profile, and you know we have a lot of potholes here in Quebec, so he doesn't feel confident in these wheels. So he's ordered, he's got the original hubcaps. He wants to go with the original tall tires, white wall, and right now he has to locate 4 rims. So when he's got all that, he's gonna bring it to me, get them installed, balanced, and then give the original look. After all, he's got the original hubcaps that go to this car. So that's the only down point for me, is that the tires are low profile. You know, you don't want to break down or get a flat tire, because after that you're gonna have to look for another wheel. But that's the only drawback I have for him. And Roy agrees with me, so he's gonna get the other wheels, and we can't wait to put them on. And there we go. Look at that humongous hood. Look, it closes on its own. It's so heavy. There you have it. Cadillac DeVille 1968 convertible. Thanks for joining me, you guys, and enjoying our channel here at Nick's Garage. Thank you very much. And you guys, if you look down below the video, we have a whole bunch of merchandise that you guys can buy. So whatever you like, buy it, love it, wear it, and enjoy it. And help spread the word of Nick's Garage. And if you have some time, check out our Patreon page. We have extra content, and you guys can watch it and take it from there. And we'll see you next time.